All right. Hi, baby. We're live. And you know what? I'm super excited to see you.
Oh, thank
If
you.
anybody comes in right now, it's just you and me. And I hear an echo. I wish somebody would come in the live to tell us how it's going. But I want everybody to know we're going to post this replay. You and I met on TikTok. You know what? We're going to try again, come in and out, and see if I can get rid of this echo.
Okay.
I'm super sorry. Let's try one more time. Hello? Hi. Great. Hi.
Hi.
This is a really good conversation for you to be here. Can you hear me okay? Hi, Judy. Hi, everybody. Come on in. I am so excited you guys are here. Just you guys. So, Gigi, sorry for all the technical issues we had. We're good. You are muted, but that's fine. I want you all to meet my bestie, my bestie, my bestie. We're calling her Gigi, okay? And if I mess up, I will bleep it. I don't know how to do that. But so she'll keep me on track because she's younger than I am, but she really is my mama. And now I know why. Now I know why. I mean, our astrology charts are really interesting and we have a lot in common. And we're going to talk about that. But why did it take me to today to look at our numerology, which we have the same freaking codes? So this is welcome to Cosmic Connections here at Tru2itt. This is something you guys know how we all randomly but serendipitously connect, right? And it's just amazing. Monique is saying hi. Um, so
Hello.
hello. So I had just started my channel on TikTok, which is a little bit of a heartache, right, Gigi? We're going through it with TikTok. And I was reading cards, and ta-da, Gigi came into my live. And that was, we figured out September. I've got it here somewhere, but it was the end of September. Long story short, you guys, it was a year of emotional healing, which makes a lot of sense. And I was going through a hurricane. She can tell you all about what she went through, and we're still going through so much. But we have the same numerology code. Hers is 7. So Gigi, you are a chariot, you are a warrior. You are that Cancerian energy, but you in a past life were a soldier, a warrior, a leader, that take charge girl that I know you are. And then you're the emperor, the high priestess, and the prophet, with the 4 being the emperor, 2 high priestess, 9 hermit, but prophet. And she knows what I'm talking about. You guys do. Peggy in the house. I love you for being here. Gigi, where's your name? I got to get our names back up there. You guys, I'm struggling with StreamYard today, and Gigi's being patient. But so, and Gigi, you're 7429, and I'm 2794. So We're both, you know, high priestesses, bossy in our own right, but, you know, emperors can be controlling, but we can be controlled. And we've been controlled. Unmute yourself. What happened when I saw that elephant with the chains on it? Remember?
Yeah. I mean, it touched you big time. I made you want to cry.
All that abuse of power you've been through.
Yeah.
So, astrology aside, which I would love, you guys, this is episode 1. I'm going to have probably 24 with her. It's insane how we met, what she's been through, how we help each other, the numerology, the astrology included. But I really want you all to meet her to understand our cosmic connection, which now we know we were rolling around together in a past life, kicking some ass. And I think like you were probably my mom or older sister back then, because that's how what did I tell you today? Stop momming me.
Right.
So I love this soul connection between us. And I am going to put up at least this banner. I don't know where your name is, but I am happy to put this up. If anyone, as you hear her talk, if you want to, if you're so kind to, she is welcome to those donations today. This is a lot about her story, her journey, and how she can help you guys. But, you know, Amy, Gigi,
It's okay.
leave that in the replay. Liz, edit, note, what time is it?
It's okay. It's good.
1:08.
Use that government name.
Well, I met you as Gigi Love247 anyway. So, so let's start with why the heck, where were you and why did you come into my TikTok live?
I was actually on TikTok. I was telling my story in TikTok, and you had known a mutual friend, DJ. And she's the one that told me about you. And she's like, oh, you got to go do this with this lady. She's amazing. Go in there, go see her. And I went into your live, and a connection already when I was hearing you read for someone or something. I mean, you didn't get to me or something, but I know that we did that on WhatsApp. But I really felt like a connection. And then as you were speaking to people, which really set me was your gift kind of, I don't know if you know how gifts can kind of activate each other. So you were talking to some people and I could visually see some of the things that you were saying before you were saying it to them. And it was hitting me and I was like, oh, how do I tell this lady this? Right. Because I was new to that world too. But yeah, it was enlightenment on that. So that was one of the first lessons on that, when you can find out that you actually can be with someone and they can activate your gifts.
I know that is so true, and I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix this. It's bugging me. You know how OCD I am. We'll talk. You got to help me fix my corner, okay, baby? I love you. You're gonna do that, all right? Yeah. So, but and it was magical. I think we've talked every morning since, and we don't usually get to see each other. So this is a real treat for me. And I'm sorry, y'all. I'm staring at her in the chat and probably not looking at the camera very much. So I just want you to start where you feel comfortable, because I know where my heart starts to race when I think about it. What you first came to me with, a lot of the struggles, and it did have to do, I'm just going to say DV now that we're live, you know, even though I've put it out there and everybody knows what I'm talking about. And it's not like a driver vehicle thing by any means. And that I felt back then, Gigi, that you felt like you had to convince me what you'd been through.
Yeah. I mean, I still do that today. Like, I still feel like I have to carry receipts with me everywhere I go. And that can be just what I'm doing on a daily basis. I still feel like I have to prove what I did for that day. Like, I still carry my receipts. I still got to show you pictures. I still got to, even when we're having our phone conversations, I still kind of do that. Like, read this text message that I just received. I'm like, I'm sending you the text message to prove that I'm reading it to you. So yeah, I still do that.
I think because you had been so controlled and gaslit
Yeah.
about what is love, what is a twin flame, what is, what is love and what is just toxic BS, what is what it is to be gaslit. And so you came like, um, can I show you I'm just gonna say receipts. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, 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 I believe you. No, but you did. And they're
Yeah.
graphic. They're
Yeah.
graphic what happened to her. When I wrote in the description that she was put in a wheelchair, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart. And there was another instance that came up where she was manipulated and convinced in this really sweet, lovely way to leave your house because they were going to help you fix it after Hurricane Michael. So this is years of stuff, which nu- with the numerology, we can talk more, here privately. But those people destroyed her house. And somewhere in that time, I pulled that elephant card, which I'll find it. My friends
Mhm.
have all seen it, or I'll show it again. But so tell everybody to the best of your ability, you don't have to do it all today, what you experienced and how you felt. I believe like very much a negative energy around you. How to deal with the everyday 3D reality of healing. The second thing was what am I doing with all of my spiritual abilities when I've been, reading the Bible was a big part of what helped you through the depression of this because, I'm not going to lie. They know I've laid in bed and cried and uh, been through it. But you
Yeah.
had your period of depression, which also involved, um, some professional help too. So I want you all to realize that like there's a good mix of professionals and spiritual therapy and religion. Hi everyone, thank you. Hey, we got more and more of my peeps coming in, Gigi. Let's all wave. Hey. So this was when we have a lot to talk about from when you were in the wheelchair to when I pulled this card that made me cry and then you lost the house, so to speak.
Yes.
So, but take me back to where you were from your religious perspective and awakening spiritually and figuring out how to make them fit, as well as meeting me and going, oh my goodness, I am a high priestess. I'm very intuitive. And your dreams again, they do come true. Like the one about Child Protective Services, that had to do with this situation.
Right.
Nobody was calling it on her. She's recently taken her granddaughter in. So that was
So,
a paying off of D,
right.
right? Okay, so tell everybody because to go from a lot of heavy religion and some street smarts, let's not lie about it, and blend that all with spirituality. Tell me
Okay.
how you got up out of bed and out of the wheelchair and out of the gaslighting into this.
Well, just the gist of what I went through. Let's just say a very bad Lifetime movie that you'd ever seen. I'll just say I lived a very, very bad Lifetime movie. And the more we talk about, what's going on there, or what happened, but it was a very narcissistic. He had borderline personality disorder. So it was very hard. Those relationships you can't just get out normally, and you can't just say leave because they have abandonment issues. So you couldn't leave. So I was stuck. I was stuck from 2018 all the way to 2021. And I felt like I had nowhere to go. All my friends were separated from me because I was known as the crazy lady and not really trying to get help because he was such a great guy in everybody's eyes. they weren't seeing behind the scenes. I kept cameras all the way around my house because I was scared of what was going to happen to me when I slept. But and the gaslighting to make sure I actually did what he said I did, because he had me convinced I wasn't doing what I was saying I was doing. It was a very emotional time. And at this time, I had nowhere to turn. I didn't have my church family anymore. I didn't have people that I was really close to, because he's already talked to all these people and separated us. And so I got on FB and I was like, saw this tarot reading, and growing up Christian and Southern Baptist and Pentecostal, that was of witchcraft. And so I was really scared. And when I asked this girl for a reading, I sent my little $30 to her, and I had Perry Stone playing on my TV. I had my Bible open, and I'm like, oh my gosh, don't make me go, hell, I'm so scared this is going to make me go. And Lord, if this is not from you, if I'm not supposed to be doing this, just take it away. And at that time, she kind of ended her live, and I pretty much gave this lady my $30, and I was like, hold up. I didn't get my reading. So I was just like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this. I texted her and was like, messaged her on FB and said, look, just give me my money back. Don't worry about it. But she ended up calling me, and she called me and we talked for like 2 hours. A lot of things were coming out at that time, and I've still got my Bible in front of me, still got Perry Stone, which was the Indian tribe one that he did, and going in the background, so super scared about what I was doing and talking to this lady and where was it taking me that I didn't know, but we did. She knew so much, and I was like, okay, is this of you, Lord? I'm not sure. Went to bed, still not sure, still praying about it. Woke up, and then he gave me a word to give to her. I was like, oh no, nope, I'm not texting that lady. What if she was going to do something to me? What if I'm going to get voodoo on me or something? Heck no, I'm not texting that lady. So he kept arguing, he's like, yes, you are. I need you to say these things. I need you to say this to her right now. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And he was like, yes, you are. So I finally just went, okay, fine. And I started my message to her on FB, like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to overstep my boundaries. I know you know more than I do, but this word came to me. It's for you. And so I ended up giving her that word. Don't remember what it was because it wasn't for me. And she told me she was in her car wanting to unalive herself because they were living in a hotel and her kids were in the hotel. And she said she was so depressed and she just didn't know what to do. She was crying in her car. And that message, whatever it was at the time, really helped her. So that's when it opened my eyes to that aspect, because I was like, if it was so wrong, he wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, that's when your connection to God just solidified in my eyes.
Yeah.
And then it became less about the written word and more about your spiritual gifts.
Yeah.
So then you came into TikTok, and
we met.
I don't remember anything about the reading. I remember quickly after we met, I had to evacuate because of one of the first in a while. Well, really 2019. Now we're talking 2022. And we're both in a year. When we met was a year of emotional healing.
Yeah.
And so we met and I had to evacuate during a hurricane, and we went live together, which we don't very often. And we met people then that are still friends, and they might even come over here from TikTok. You know what I'm saying? There's like 3 that remember we were talking about just, the power supply thing I had. It was just funny stuff.
Yeah.
But now I know why, because the minute we met, I was like, oh, that's my girl. We've known each other before. But so when we go to the hurricanes, can we go that, do you want to go that far back about Michael and where you were left? Where do you want to go? Do you want to open up that can of worms? Or you can just start with how your house was destroyed.
Yeah, that can go on with the process of what all happened. We can kind of just go through the gist of things, and then you can get into the nitty gritty of it. And if anybody ever wants receipts from me to know if I'm telling you the truth, I have video, I have pictures. I have text messages. I keep everything. And you do
Yeah.
that when you're with somebody that's narcissistic. I mean, I still have things from when we were together, from all kinds of stuff, just because I thought that I was the one that was going crazy and that it really wasn't happening. So you learn to keep receipts. You learn to show, like, to prove to people, like, I really am not this way. This is who I am. And so, it's a lot there, because not only was he doing it to me, but he was doing it to my daughter too, who is now 13 now, but he was doing it to her at a very young age. So it separated us, as a mother and a daughter. So that's another growth in between this process, and why it's going to be like in stages. So we can just kind of go through and kind of talk about it, because it's a lot of stages and a lot of process, so people can understand that we're not a cookie cutter. What I did might not work for you, but maybe you can take my lived experience and learn from it and do what's best for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I wanted you on here, and it's going to take many episodes to explain everything that you knew coming into this relationship, and because it wasn't your first, that
No.
was difficult, and how much you really have to give back now is amazing. Um, so I want to tell everybody for you in a nutshell. She went through Michael up in the Panhandle in 2018, and it destroyed her house while she's in this relationship with a person who's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fix it all, baby. Yeah, let's go. Okay. Whatever else was going on, and the children being infected, D2, and when I say I'm using initials for a lot of things, but when you see her shake her head, yeah, she knows what I'm talking about. Let's just
It
say it
was,
affected all the kids, and, just on a physical level, your roof was ripped off, things were destroyed, and you lost all your support system. That's and the abuse, and I've seen the receipts. It's okay, baby, you don't have to use that word anymore. I do wanna say, if any of you have any questions for her, put them in the chat and I will highlight them, and she will be happy to answer what she can, because she is just going to be, it's just her year of all of this to complete. It's your year to speak your truth. When I told you it's a year of completions for you now, it's where you really get to heal from all of this and share your truth. Plus, I told you, your astrology, it was Mercury. We'll get there, but it is her time to really speak the truth about all of this. And let's start with you. I've touched on a little bit. Now you're a single mom, 3 kids and a granddaughter, and you're living in a house that you can't get anybody to fix, and it's now 2022, y'all. No fault of hers. It's just
Well,
it's a
the
struggle.
hurricane hit October 2018. At this time, I didn't know about the borderline personality disorder at this time. I did find out about an extra female, and so he was working in the oil field. Let me go back and tell you this. When you think that God is giving you someone, or your higher power is giving you someone, that's a blessing. Also know there's something evil out there that might be putting something in front of that blessing, and you might think that person is. So please listen to every intuition that you have in it. I'm not innocent in this. I had gut feelings not to be in this relationship, but he was so good at the beginning. So good that I thought I was the toxic one. Okay. So he knew how to become what I wanted in the relationship and can keep that going, but for so long. And so that reels you in, So from 2000 to end of 2014 to 2018, because he was able to go off to the oil field and live a separate lifestyle than what he was here, even though I was getting similar, I was getting things, I was picking up on things, but he wasn't always home. Okay. And so 2018, I found out about extra female. And I thought that at this time, once I found this out, we made a pact. If you cheat, I'm gone. If I cheat, you're gone. Before we cheat, let's talk about it first, see what's going on. But when I found out this extra female, he didn't go with that aspect. He didn't allow to go, let's go, it's over with. He kept me in my room for 3 days straight to change my mind. And when I say 3 days straight, I mean I was bruised from head to toe when I finally was able to be released from that room. And and I'll go through that when we go through the stories, but like head to toe. My brother seen me on a Sunday, was very shocked by what I looked like, because we always had family gatherings on Sunday. But that was my first aspect, that he had borderline personality disorder. So everything that would be normal to get out of a relationship like that, like, okay, I'm done, we're over with, pack your stuff, get out, didn't happen that way with him because of that. Abandonment issues, attachment issues. So anything with the words of you leave, I leave, anything like that was his trigger words. And it caused a lot of harm to me or to my kids. So how do you use those words? And then being in a room for 3 days and maybe someone putting their hand around your throat and you seeing the colors change in your head, and then you're out for a moment and you come back. I think that's when it popped in me, and I really became I just want to say, like, the smartness of me, the street smart, the get out, just go somewhere, was gone at this point after 3 days in there and living like that. People can always wonder, why didn't you just leave? Why didn't you go? Something snaps inside of you too. And you have to then battle that and within yourself also, while you're trying to battle to get out of this relationship. Yes, mental abuse, correct. So it's a lot. And when the hurricane came and this happened and I'm finding out about this and stuff, he made he told me that he could not leave until the house was fixed, that he would leave me, but the house had to get fixed first. And so he started with the roof and put it on wrong. And by the time he left, it was another $20,000 for me put on the roof. So that was what was going to fix my inside of my house. And so I didn't have the money when I finally was able to get him out, which wasn't me per se. It was my daughter that actually picked up the phone and called and got him out to do Baker acted. It wasn't for him leaving on his own. Then I had to spend that time to heal. My PTSD was really, really bad. I was scared. I watched every corner. I could drive my kids to school. I could go to work, but that's about it. Like, I noticed I'd watch the windows when I go somewhere, the doors. I'd sit where I could see the doors, stop going to normal places that I would go to if we went together. I quit going to those places. So it was a lot of that build up. And so that's where it was at on that, the hurricane part.
Yeah. And then when I met you, we're talking several years later, and nothing's fixed. And also, the rehab, is it fair to say, met someone?
Yeah. He got married.
He met someone in rehab and went off in that direction.
Yeah, he met her husband.
Yeah, well, you tell. You tell.
Yeah, he met her husband
a little bit, because this is a lot.
Yeah, he met her husband, and I think they kind of knew each other because her friends are across the street from me. But supposedly he met her husband, and then her husband kind of passed away, unalived from COVID, and then he moved in with her and had a relationship with her. I don't know if they're trolling now, but there's now she was blonde headed and her own personality when I first seen her picture, blonde hair and everything, and now she looks similar to me. Yeah. Granted, I had black hair and now it's red because I want to be different. So now she was real similar to me.
Yeah. Well, if she's watching, she's gonna change her hair color. Anyway. And she is now the stepmom to your littlest one that's 8, and then you also have a granddaughter. So, you're juggling a lot. But when I met you, you really, to me, had come out of the ashes, so to speak. My girl was rising up. And for me, I was going through some stuff, and you were helping me, so I love that about us. Every day it seems like it's a new thing. We're helping each other. Here, this is important. Let me put that up for you from Roxor, I think. Did he
He
gaslight
did.
friends?
He did.
Yeah.
He went around before I knew that he was doing this. He went around and he was telling people that I was going crazy, that I was not right in the head, that I was cheating on him. So when all this stuff was going on, and because like I said, from 2014, end of 2014 to 2018, because he could play that part, he was opening up car doors, being a great guy. Everybody thought he was the best man on earth for me,
You had a child with him.
Right. So, all that good stuff was happening. My brother thought he was the best thing that walked on earth for me. And then, so he was going around giving people little ears about, certain things about me. So when I reached out to help with this friend or this friend or this friend, they thought, okay, well, he did say she was having a meltdown. Maybe she was going through something. And it wasn't until that I actually got out a little bit. Sorry, I got a call coming in. Heal a little bit, and then talk to my friends, okay, and said, okay, this is what happened. Let them see the receipts on some videos and some stuff. Then they all started telling me what was being said. Now, the sad thing about it is, if God wouldn't have got me out of this relationship, then it would have been like all of them would have came together and pieced it together and would have said, oh, we should have helped. That's what's sad, because nobody actually talked to me about it and what was being said about me. So it would have been a really different situation if I didn't get out, and then they all came together and then were like, oh my goodness. Because I had friends that quit talking to me because they had uneasy feelings about him. I had friends that listened to him, and then I lost really good friends because they listened to him. So it's been a lot, and a lot of bridges that were burned and won't be healed. And there's some that are being healed.
Yeah. Yeah. It still goes on. The gaslighting, the gossiping. It's probably got even worse because of, well, it did get worse. So, and one thing I want to touch on, and we'll do this in another episode, is I immediately meet her and we start talking and sharing stories and all these things and talking about spiritualness, reading cards. You definitely wanted to know how to balance the Bible and your beliefs and reading cards. And what I love about you too, Gigi, is like nobody really teaches us this. It is a knowing, but there's still a lot to learn, especially all the different cards, all the astrology. I mean, there's just layers and layers. But you innately, intuitively would blend your Bible reading that you did privately, which I'm very proud of you, because you were doing all the healing work, with reading mostly oracle cards, not really tarot, and got a lot of guidance from that. And then we met, and I'm trying to grow and do things, and I wanted to help. So I'm like, let's make an oracle deck. And you're like, yes, 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 yes. And that's because you had all these questions still trying to get through the gaslighting. Are they cheating? Is it the baby mama, baby daddy? I mean, we were just throwing it all out there. Remember, I was riding on my bike.
Yeah.
And we were just making, we weren't making it up. We were talking about real life questions I've been asked in lives, because TikTok is just it's a different live. You know, people really, they're just throwing questions, deep questions out there, real life stuff. And
Well,
so we
I
wanted
noticed
to make
that.
a deck to do that, you know. But so we'll talk more about the deck, and
Yeah.
I'm going to put a link on Linktree so we can get to selling those decks and get some money for you, because that was like, how can I help you not only process this, but let's get creative. Let's, you know,
Yeah.
use that emperor energy we have and chariot energy to get some things done. And we did. Are they perfect? No, but we love them. And that even solidified our bond even more.
I think one thing I want to tell you is from my religion, okay, it's the one-on-one with God that I feel like it's the having the close personal relationship with him is what I learned. I didn't have to be in a church at this time. I had to get this personal relationship with him to learn how he's speaking to me, how I know he's there. And so one thing I've always done with my kids and myself is, as we would do family Bible study, because I was real heavy Christian, we would do family Bible study, and we would sit there and I would say, okay, I want y'all to just talk in your head, and whatever you have a question about, then open up the Bible and let's read it and see if that answers your question. And it always did. Now with the little ones, like I said this before I realized that you could go outside of the Christian stuff. I had Christian books, Christian kids prayer books, Christian stories, stuff like that. And I would say, go get something. Just go pick something up. We would sit down at the table, and I would say, okay, I just want y'all to quietly talk to God, you know, and just talk to him, whatever you want to talk to him about, and then open up to a page. And they did. And if it could be like, this little girl hurt my feelings, or family was going through something and they wanted to tell you something, it always came out in a discussion with what they opened up. And I'd be like, okay, why do you think God's telling you this? And they would tell me something was going on. So God was already preparing me for my spiritual journey. So then when that happened with God and everything and the tarot cards, and I got with you, I knew that I could write a bunch of words down on a piece of paper and kind of just fill it through it, you know, just kind of close up the paper and say, okay, God, talk to me, what I need to do, and pick it up. And I could actually pick it up and read it like a storybook with him. So I was like, hey, you know what? I need to know what these people are doing. What is the next step? Because I tell you, you can't get in front of crazy, right? But you can ask God, what is my journey coming to? What maybe I be facing at this moment? And how can I help myself face it and figure out what I have to do next? I know he couldn't tell me what's going to happen, but that maybe a tower moment is coming, or be prepared for this storm that's there, or he's thinking this, so you need to maybe maneuver to the left or right. And so we were coming up with words that, you know, I want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. I want to take the kids. I don't want to take the kids. Don't want to talk about the kids, because it was situations that were really happening at that time.
Yeah. And I think I know a lot of my friends in the chat are going through similar things. So this is really, really going to help. Understanding, you know, too, that I don't want to name anybody specifically on that side, but people go to rehab for a reason. You know, he was doing a lot of stuff that was unhealthy. And that in and of itself, and your previous marriage involved some alcoholism with that one. So, you know, there's just a wide range. I want you all to understand. I'm not calling anybody out. Everybody knows I lost somebody to alcohol. It's just a lot of what I think the wisdom from our wounds that we want to share with everybody. And since I met you too, Gigi, we have talked about you doing this. So I'm super proud of you to get the word out. And as we go on, she's got so much wisdom to share. That's what I say. It's going to be a multi-series talk that we have.
And there's going to be a fight. Me saying this, and when I was doing this on TikTok, they did some awful stuff to me because of my voice and because of what I was saying and because I have receipts that he will come after me. So this is something that's going to cause me a lot of grief by me telling my story. So it's not like I'm over it. He's over it and he's going to be okay with this. They're not going to be okay with this. And they're not they probably won't even understand. Everybody has their side. Okay. And we understand this. They have their side. I have my side, and we see things in different perspective. I have my perspective on things. He has his perspective on things. She has her perspective on things. And even though I might not see it their way, they want me to see it their way. So it's not that anybody's really lying a lot. They just have different perspectives on how they see things and comprehend things and how they are. If you're narcissistic, you don't see that you did anything wrong. So that's your perspective. The person that's dealing with the narcissist, I see it a totally different way. That's my perspective. The kids see things different. That's a child's perspective. So that's how we have to see things. So I hope they see this and that they don't think I'm trying to put them down in any kind of way because they have their own lives. I'm not trying to hurt them in any kind of way. I just want to help people that are going through my situation or have been through my situation. If they're doing fine now, that's great and granted, but this is my story. This is what I lived. And so, yeah, it's going to probably come back with repercussions. Yeah.
Thank you, Peggy. As you can see, my baby girl here she's getting scared now. It's okay, honey. It's okay. It's going to make me cry. We're going to be okay. They cannot get us. I mean, all the Leo and fire in us, we got this. Maybe. Well, we got each other's backs. But yeah, because it hasn't stopped, and I am a testament to that. So I get a little scared too about, speaking our truth. But
yeah,
I found out recently she's, or somebody is already got my number in this. I tried to lay low so I could just help behind the scenes, but I'm willing to be thrown into the fire with this. Because you guys too, there's when they got together and got married, you got dragged into court in a very horrible state of mind. And is everything okay?
Yeah, she just asked me what I was on.
It's okay. So I would say, how can I say this in the most politically correct way? That let me back up a second, because I've learned a lot too from you. Even being a former journalist, I was so naive to how small town politics can work. And I deal with, I grew up in a small, I don't know. Sometimes I'm so gullible and naive, you have to slap me about it. The lack of support that you got from the Blue.
The non-support that I got from the cops and
any
stuff. Yeah.
Type of legal outlet. The Blue, the legal, nothing. So her situation right now with the one child is 50-50 and no support.
And it's not because I didn't know. You got to understand, I worked for the Department of Children and Families. I brought in mental health for children in a couple of different counties around here. So it wasn't like I didn't know the community. It wasn't like they didn't know me. But he was a fireman. We're in another state. And so he knew how to talk. And he went to these trainings that I went to. He were able to talk to people, like I said, on the sideline. And I didn't know this was going on. So when they were coming to my house, he had already told them that there was something wrong with me. And so one incident when he threw something at me, chipped my tooth, and it was because of something that was on my YouTube. He could say it wasn't, but it was. And he chipped my tooth here, and my mouth was jacked up. And they were called for a well check. They came out, and they said, "You good, so and so?" And they looked at me, "You good, Gigi?" and they could see I wasn't good. There was a guy cop and a girl cop, and we all know the girl cop is supposed to walk you away, and the guy cop is supposed to talk to the other person and get story. No, it was you're good, you're good. And all that I could think of as a mother is my son is in the other room. And if they're not helping me now, are they going to take me and take my son? Am I going to lose everything I have? So because you could see visually that I was bruised up, my shirt was torn, and that I wasn't good, but they were saying I was good.
Yeah. And I think probably a lot of that I still am like, what? And because even the most recent things that have happened, it's still happening. She doesn't get any help. And so when we think about in the future, what could you do for support, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to say too much. It feels a little hopeless. I won't lie. We're just like, well, you can try this. You could, go to court, yada, yada. Hi, Ed. Hi, Ed. We got some good people in the chat, baby girl, listening. So you're okay. You're in a bubble. We're in a bubble. We'll deal with it later, but we're in a bubble right now. But I'm still shocked at the level of control one side seems to have and the lack of support that you get. And she'll give me the receipts. It's just I've had to learn because I didn't see that side. I'm used to covering news stories where people are being helped, or our local government officials and municipalities and departments help. So I didn't know this whole world where they don't. And I'm not ragging on any of it. It's just, especially with a woman who's clearly been abused, it's just upsettingly fascinating. And then from there, you took me down a million rabbit holes about everything that's coming out now, all these truths. That's another episode. All the good Diddy stuff you had me. I knew about all this a long time ago.
Yeah, it's different, and that's why I tell everybody that it's not cookie cutter. I mean, people can say I do DV counseling. I am involved with Salvation Army DV. I have been for a long time, but their hands are tied, but so long. So I mean, they can only help you through certain things. They can't help you all of it, and so nobody is in a cookie cutter situation. And if I can bring anything out to anybody is don't judge because they stay. Don't judge because they can't seem to maneuver out at the moment because, it should be so easy, because it's not. When you have kids involved, when you're worried about your own being unalived, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3, because they might have already reached out one time for help and got shunned. Maybe that person didn't come out and help them. Going into a shelter, it only lasts but for so long. What happens when you come out of the shelter? What if you don't have family? What if you don't have friends? So when I tell you, when you're helping someone with this situation, help them with themselves, help them gain strength, help them get back on their feet, help them see that they got it. Even if they're still in that situation, you're like, you don't want to hear about it. As long as you're still helping them mentally, spiritually, like help them do that to where they can find the good in their heart to leave and build up to leave, because government officials might not do it. Family and friends might not help them. Even if it seems like it's immediate help them gain the strength to leave on their own.
Yeah. And some of that's true about the hurricanes and everything, and a lot of people can relate to the lack of support there, but it depends a lot. That's very different too. I don't know how much time you have. I don't want to stress you out and bring up all this stuff, but you mentioned, living in a shelter. Do you want to jump ahead a little bit and just talk about how that tied together?
Well, after it's been a year or so, after getting him out, him and his wife, and this is where Liz was with me. She was my spiritual guidance at this time because I had nowhere to turn. And so I would call her, and I know she was like, man, this girl. But I didn't know where else to turn. Like, I'm sending her messages. It was such a turmoil that I didn't know how to respond. I had to respond gracefully with people that I was scared of. Okay.
This is when this card came out and I
It was
cried.
very gracefully with these people. And then it stopped for a minute, and we seemed to be co-parenting okay. Things seemed a little bit all right, but I'm still rebuilding my home, y'all. I didn't have walls. I didn't have my garage didn't have a ceiling and stuff like that. I didn't have a privacy fence. I had a dog that was
It's okay. Just don't talk about the dog. It's okay. We'll get to the dog.
I had a dog that was emotionally my emotional support system, and I had to get that fence up. And I didn't have any money coming in. I had TikTok money. I had my condo cleaning, but mortgage is a lot of money, and kids are a lot of money. So things started getting back up. And so here's this woman of his around Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, asked for us to meet with them to conversate about maybe them helping us do the flooring and helping us just get the house right for my kids to have a room for Christmas. And that sounded so good. And at this time I was really sick. I lost a really close friend that we thought was like a brother. I mean, he was like a brother to us. And so I decided to meet my ex and his wife and think, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to bite the bullet. They've already did everything they could possibly do to me. What else can they do to me? Liz, on the other hand, going, don't do it. But I'm just so tired. What if they do this? Let my house finally get done. What if they do this? I just wanted to do this. And they said I could stay in her Airbnb that she had. She owned a business that was about renovations. So I seen that. And I told her in text messages, I didn't trust him, but I trusted her. And if it was going to give my kids a home, then let's do this. Let's go ahead and do this. So they only gave me 24 to 48 hours to pack what I wanted, told me they would box everything else up that was good, put it in my garage, that I could not be there because me and him couldn't be around each other. He didn't want to leave my cameras up because he said he didn't want me watching him, what he was doing. He didn't want me, over his shoulder. But if I wanted this done, let professionals take care of it. Let professionals do it. So I decided to do it. We didn't move into his Airbnb. They didn't charge us to stay there because they were supposed to be doing our house. And instead, they gutted my place. They threw everything I owned away. And because I kept asking from November to January, because it was only supposed to be until Christmas. When is this going to get done? How can I help get this done? Can I do a fundraiser? And finally he said, do what you want to do. We got some issues going on here. So I started a fundraiser on TikTok, and they got mad and they kicked us out of the Airbnb. And my house had no toilet. They threw away my refrigerator, my stove. Everything we owned, my mom's ashes was gone. And so and the way he was talking to me and what he said he was going to do, I was able to take that recording and go to my DV counselor, show her. So they got us into a shelter for 180 days while I at least got the plugins covered, got a refrigerator in here, got a stove. A stove was left. I'm sorry, a dishwasher in here. And so I can make it safe so that they couldn't call anybody on me, protective services, to take my kids because we were staying in such a bad place. So I was able to at least get the necessities. I had friends that gave us air mattresses so we could sleep on those. But they were upset because I was trying to get help and that's why I'm worried about this YouTube, because I was trying to get help for my house because I had to replace everything, forks, spoons, knives, and pay a house payment and get the kids what they needed. And at this time, I'm also getting my daughter who has autism, level 2 autism, and was put through a lot of gaslighting herself and was tortured herself by somebody that was here that I was dealing with all that too. So it was a lot. And so, yeah, I'm working like 3 or 4 jobs right now.
I know you are, baby. And I'm so proud of you because, Let me get this off for now. So this was 2023, 24.
It was 23.
23. Yeah, it seems so fresh still.
Yeah,
For
still.
you to be tricked like that out of the house. And I knew there was this immense abuse of power, and that's why I cried and cried. You guys know when I show that card, I still cry. And I was mad at myself that I didn't say, because of that card, this is terrible. I was hopeful for you too. Gaslighting comes in all forms, and when you get tag teamed by two people, and all you want to do is do what's right for your kids, and then they did this to you during the holidays. I still can't tell you how proud I just can't even express how proud I am of you, how strong you are, how much I love you for leaving the townhome when you did, because then somebody tried this big lie of an eviction, which is kind of laughable if you're watching. But anyway, yeah, if she hadn't left, she was going to get evicted. Okay. So this girl knows how to stay ahead. And that is also by trusting your intuition, your connection with God, and you follow your gut, people. And don't get lost in this twin flame stuff. Twin flame in here. That's what I'm so proud about her. That's how you get out. That's how this woman went through the holidays in a shelter and kept her kids happy and got, I don't know how you did it, and kept going to work.
It was watching my daughter that is now 13 come from her shell at this time. She was telling me things that, okay, I wouldn't tell her the past. I want her to tell me what's going on in the past, because things have been brought up, and I'm not going to say too much because this can still be a court case if I can get it all together. But she said that he used to come into her room crying and tell her that I didn't love her and that I was crazy and that she didn't want to go in there and see me. I'm the type of mom that I ask my kids, can I have a hug? Can I have a kiss? Can you sit beside me? I didn't never make my kids do things. So when she was using headphones and going into another room, I figured she just didn't want to be around me because that's a girl thing, maybe, right? My son wanted to be around me, but she didn't. Not knowing that she was being told, you don't want to be around her, she's crazy. So during this process, and after she's seen what happened and everything, we got into the shelter, and mine and her bond grew. So if anything else could come out good out of this part right here, is that I got my daughter back. My daughter finally got to see that her mama does love her and her mama does want her. And she was cutting herself at 7. I didn't even know this, because she thought she wasn't loved. And it was because I couldn't come out of my room. I was medicated up. I couldn't come out of my room. I couldn't live life anymore. I felt like I was in such a place that I couldn't escape this relationship that I wanted out of. And so when me and her were in the shelter together, we got close. And a little girl that wouldn't go into a social place, she wouldn't go out to eat with you, she wouldn't go anywhere, she was scared, started going into these social places. She finally started chorus. She did chorus. Now she's in chorus theater. She talks, she comes in my room, she gets me hugs. We talk all the time, and that's the blessing I can tell you out of all this, the shelter, my stupid choice of letting them come fix my home, everything. It's worth having my little girl back.
Sorry, babe. I said yes, baby. And you see Ray J's here. Ray J came to say hi to you. Hey, cutie.
Hi. I can't read the chat, y'all. I don't know how to work this thing. So yeah, I was going to go back and read.
It's harder on your phone. But you said you made a stupid choice. No, baby. You were trying to cooperate, to be gracious, as you always are in the worst situations. This girl does not try to dish it out and give it back. She really wants to cooperate. She believes in blended families and what that's like. You've had that in your past. Me too, Ray J. And I'm proud of you, Ray J. I'm proud of everybody here. I'm just really proud to be doing this, because I mean, I don't know how much longer she wants to go. It gets taxing, and there's so much, you guys. You just won't even believe it. But I just, every time I see things that would just squash anybody, she's just like, it's all right. I got it. I go, how you doing today, baby? Like, well, I'm doing. And I'm like, what's that mean? What happened? And she'll go, well, I mean, it's on the reg. This is on the reg that we have to fight these obstacles and barriers. And the gaslighting continues. The financial struggle is real. There's so much more to talk about, how it's affected all of your children and your granddaughter. Maybe not today. You want to tackle that the next time?
Yeah, I mean, I just know that my son is getting tested now for his autism, but he has sensory issues and stuff too. And to find out at like 11, she has level 2 autism, but they also said that her body remembers being touched. She just doesn't remember all the details right now. So we still have a lot of healing and stuff to go through. There's things that were happening to her that she thought was normal, because in this relationship, she was here at 3 to 8. And so anything that happened to her, they were family. She thought it was normal. So she didn't know to tell mommy anything. And you got to understand, she was scared to go tell mommy stuff. So I'm still helping her with her process, because I don't know how much what she's going to remember. I try not to put memories in her head. I want her to have her own memories. And the truth be told, like, I was in here talking to Liz one day and I said, he doesn't remember a lot. He was little. And then my son turned around and said, no, mommy, I remember this, that, and the other. So, I just want to be able to come on here, and even though I'm scared that what the repercussion of this is, if I can help one person or one child, it's worth it.
Amen, baby. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. It's a lot, because it's one thing to be a single mom. It's another to be single, gaslit, abused, lose your house, live in a shelter, on and on and on, and not know when it's going to end, because you are still being watched, possibly stalked. And I want to touch on, not today, but that will lead into this, a lot of the dark energy and magic that is out there, a lot of the satanic beliefs that are involved in this, and those effects. And people are seeing it on the global scale now. And if you're not, open your eyes, and please, if you see it, regain your connection to God, so you don't get trapped in that satanic world. And it comes in all shapes, forms, sizes, love, not love. I don't know. But it's
And just know, if you grow up, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
that's fine, babe.
If you grow up in a religion, and I'm not saying all religion, I'm not saying church is bad, because I do love if you can find the same similar church family. I also believe that you can find your soul sisters and families that way too. Hold on to your spiritual belief. Know that there's a personal relationship between you and your God, whatever your religion may be, or who your God may be. But do understand that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have been able to make it through. And it wasn't just the Bible itself. It was a personal relationship. It was showing me things that I never thought that I would believe in, because I thought it was witchcraft or whatever. And Ray J that's in here, she was in the same church as myself for a while. And so when I called her and said, okay, this is what I've been talking to God, and this is what's been going on. And because she knows that my heart and who I'm talking to, she knew that I was not lying to her, though I was so scared to tell her, this is my path, this is my journey, this is where I feel like he's leading me, and this is what he's showing me. So when I do my cards, I pull my Bible, I have scriptures, I have my tarot cards, I have my oracle cards, and they all line up to be the same. So if that's something that you're worried about, like being shunned because you grew up in this religion and this is what you're supposed to be, do understand God talks to us through everything, through your YouTube, through your book, through your friends, through the stars, whatever you connect to. He's going to use those. Him and the angels are going to use those and talk to you, right? And then you're going to realize it. So don't be scared, as long as you know who your God is and who you're serving and which team you're on. And if you decide to be on the bad team, that's on you too. But, I believe it's good and evil. But if you, understand where you're at and who you're praying to. So to me, when I do my cards, I go, Jesus, I need this to be you and the angels only. Anything that's not of you, that's not good, please please have them stay out of it. Have, Archangel Michael to shelter us. And so this reading is between us. I need you to tell me. I'm not asking for a fortune telling. What I'm asking you for is guidance. I need your guidance because I don't have it. I can't do it myself. And that's how I do my cards.
Yeah, I love that. That's really helpful for everybody. I mean, everything you've said so far is very true and very helpful. And I know that's what you and I intend to do with all of this. I get like where I just want to reach through and give you a big hug. So I get a little tongue-tied sometimes.
Is there anything in chat? Like, I'm not able to read everything, but is there anybody in chat that was saying anything absolutely faith? Thank God. Monique, what's going on? You said I'm there as well. My kids are grown. My relationship with them is strained. I feel you, Gigi. Keep your faith. I don't know where you're at on that, but do understand it's you. While you're rebuilding yourself on the inside, you're going to be able to help you and your kids. I have a grown daughter right now that's about to be 25 in April. Our relationship was strained because she was older when all this stuff was going on. And she had her own things that she's going through.
She was affected by it greatly.
Yes, she was affected big time. But don't allow that to, I put pressure on myself. Like I couldn't forgive myself for over a year. Not knowing what was going on with my little girl, not knowing what was going on with my oldest daughter, because I couldn't see in front of my face. So it took a while, and God to show me that you tried your best for the situation that you're in. And as long as you can forgive yourself first, and I mean truly forgive yourself, and know that, you've changed, you've grown, you've learned, it's going to help grow that relationship back together. I promise you. It's not a fast thing, but it will happen.
And if you could add one last thing, people who, men and women.
I'm so glad, Brian.
Men and women, okay, that are in toxic relationships and caught in a cycle, afraid to leave, can't leave, all of the things that you've touched on that we'll go into deeper. Can you give some insight onto the strength it takes to just cut those cords, and including all the people it comes with? I know you said it, but just to kind of cap it off, because I know a lot of people are in some pretty vicious cycles, all different situations, but it's kind of like, how do you finally break that cycle, get out of the room that you were so abused in, and out of the house again, like, and not go back, you know?
Okay, so I am still healing. As you know, my house is still being repaired a little bit. I don't have doors where I had doors to go into my room because I used to have to latch him out of my room and it was broken into. And I noticed when I put the doors up, I was going to put doors up, it scared me still. I still have trauma from that. So I still don't have doors in my room. So I'm not completely healed. But what does, and this is something that I want to do for others, is if I didn't have Liz to talk to, if I wasn't able to get some kind of spiritual guidance from her and be able to keep my guidance with my God and my cards and my Bible and everything else that I had, I wouldn't have been able to make it. So what I'm going to do for others is I want to be that ear for someone. I want to give that hope, that light in somebody's life. So if you're going through something, I want to give you light. I want to tell you that it's going to be okay and help you through that moment. It might not be what's going to happen in the future. I want to help you through that very moment that you're in, to know that you're going to make it through that one moment, so that we can take our baby step to the second moment and the third moment. So where those moments are getting a little bit better, like it did with me and you, Liz. Like it finally got better because every day it was something. I was letting everything get to me. I was pulling from over here and it was getting to me, even though I was gracefully saying things to them, it was really getting to me. And if I didn't have her to get me through those small moments, even to when I got to that big moment, to where when I had to deal with this big moment where I didn't have my mom's ashes, I didn't have anything in this house, I would have shut down and not been able to go any further. But because I had someone on the sideline talking to me, I had my God, I was able to get through that. And if I can be that to somebody and then maybe help others be that to somebody, no judgment, just help lift them up. Help them know that, okay, what do you need to do? What can we talk about? You know, how can we make this better? Like change your thinking of something else so that you can make it through that moment. Then it's all worth it.
Yes, that is so true. And I know this is taxing. So what I want to tell you all, if there's something you really want to talk to Gigi about, to reach out to me through my link tree, which will be in the description. And if you're able to help her in any way, she's still, you know, I'm not going to lie. It's a financial struggle that we can get into in another episode, because to see you handle that subject is also very practical, amazing information for people. This is the topic of losing your house, living in a shelter, bankruptcy. Yeah. Right?
And like you can have an abuser and with a DV, they could still be in the kid's life. He could have beat you to a pulp and still be in the kid's life, and you still have to face them every day. And that's one thing people need to understand. When you're in a DV situation, that can happen. And that's what you learn when you're in these shelters and stuff. And so it's a training. And I want more of us to be able to understand it and to lend that ear for that moment. You're awesome, Gigi, and I'm so proud of you. No, I'm sending you positive vibes and energy your way. Thank you so much. That does mean a lot, because this is I'm going to be really hard. I'm not sure if it's going to cause grief from me getting my son like I have him, but this has been something I've been having to do. It's been on my heart to do. I don't know who out there in this world needs my story now, but it's been really a push for me to do this now. So I am, even though I'm still in my situation and I'm still battling every day.
Yes.
It just gets easier.
Does it?
It does. It's not like I'm not getting the ulcers. I'm not.
Yes, we're talking, and now I feel like you have your backbone and your strength now. Like you're just like, she's really ready to tell the story, to write the book, be a spiritual guide herself. And, you know, you are a shaman in my eyes. You really are. And she's very holistic too. I love a lot of healthy approaches, not only to mental health, but physical health, and, you know, making me take black seed oil and all the stuff you make me do.
Yeah. I don't like when you said of the warrior thing. I mean, I never knew why God ever, like, it's like, okay, you know, like the
You
shoulder's
are,
full,
I
the
know.
shoulder's full. What do you want me to do, Lord? But I mean, I keep saying, you know, like, I think I've learned all the lessons, but you know, whatever it is, I just don't, I mean, I didn't know this world. Okay. I mean, I knew abuse from the, you know, being with somebody that drank a lot. Okay. I knew abuse from a family. I knew abuse growing up from dads and stuff that happened to me. I never knew this part of the world. And to know that people actually go through this and those Lifetime movies are for real. Like people actually go through those Lifetime movies. Like I could tell you from the ending to the beginning of any kind of psychotic movie there is because I lived it. That's scary. And we need more people to be out there to help those people, not to tell them what to do, but just be there,
Yeah.
be there, understand, no judgment, and help them just get through a day. It might be like, oh boy, she's still with him. Why are they doing that? But they have to get through that day. They have to build their stuff back up because they've been beat down so much. And for them to
Amen.
be a good mom, dad, whoever's taking the kid out, whoever's going through it, you got to build them back up so they can get through it. And if I
Amen.
didn't have a list for that and God for that, I wouldn't be here right now saying this at this moment. I would still be hiding underneath my covers.
I know. Well, you know, I have my moments too, and I love you, and you help me. And for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, one day I'm going to go over our astrology together, which is interesting. And I'm just going to recap this because it kind of blew me away that I never did our numerology. So several of these people have sat through my numerology readings. I'm doing them more and more, so they'll get it. But again, Gigi, she's in Aries. Can't you tell? Look at her. With a Taurus ascending. So there's just so much too. And Mars and Leo. So, and I have Mars in Cancer. Mars has been really messing with us and our confidence. So all that aside, you still carried on in this very graceful way. I just see you getting stronger. I mean, Mars would retrograde and knock our confidence down a little bit, but they'll come back and then you're getting stronger. The Mercury aspect is really coming out. That's why she's using her voice. But she, Aries aside, is a 7. She's Cancerian. She's a chariot. She is a warrior. You were a soldier in a past life, but to me, I know you were the leader. You were the warrior. And your code is 7429. I'm a 2. My code is 2794. We connect on every level. So to end with our cosmic connection, how we met and just on TikTok, well, it wasn't like this, but one live, and then we've talked every morning since 2022.
Yep.
So I really am, it's an honor to share my dear friend with you all. Kind of feels a little selfish, like I don't want to share you, but it's an honor. And I can't wait for everybody to even hear more because this is just the beginning. We did bounce
Yeah.
around the timeline a little bit, but thank you for being here because you really offered a lot of inspiration to many people. There's only a few here. Thank you all for being here. But I know that you're connecting with us in this cosmic way too. Oh, Ray J, we're here. You're not alone, baby. None of you. We are here. And I want to remind you again, I'll put as much as I can in the description for you to reach out if you have a need to talk to Gigi privately. I'll redirect you to her. Just email me first, and that will be in my link tree. There's a lot I need to update on that thing, but you guys can message me. You know how to find me. And then I'll be sure to direct this, any questions you have to Gigi. And if you were able to donate and we don't know, thank you. It's amazing. And we'll keep working on that too, Gigi, because I'm not leaving you alone struggling, that's for sure. And, you know, maybe we can do this again next weekend, or we'll pick a date and I'll post it on my channel's community tab, and we'll keep talking and sharing, because you are
Do
my
understand,
shaman
I
and a
have
spiritual
receipts.
guide.
I just want to say this. I do have receipts. So if you start talking to me and a troll comes through and they try to say something and you have to see something, Liz will give you the receipts. I'm a very upfront person. I'm real. I'm not a fake. I have flaws. You'll learn about my flaws. I'm not saying that I'm not, don't have issues myself or whatever it may be. I am a real person. So if you have questions, if you want to see receipts, if someone comes into your inbox because they've seen you talking to me or have questions, just understand that, please, just, you can get the receipts. I have no problem showing you pictures. Actually, you can go to my TikTok, it's Gigi Love247. You can see some of the pictures on there. I didn't post no names or anything, but you can see some of my pictures and stuff. They're on down on my things because he did come in and start trolling what I was doing. But, I just want to let y'all know that I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, no, it's
I'm not
okay.
perfect.
No, it's okay. And don't feel like you have to explain yourself. And sorry for the interruption there. Apparently my son is having a conniption about something.
I can't hear him.
We can't get through a conversation without being interrupted.
Kids, gotta love them.
I know. Okay, well, I will go. I love you, baby. Don't go from the stream, but I am going to end it now. Thank you guys for being here. And you know how much I love you all. And you won't see me on the Spiritual View tomorrow, but I will be there. And I'll be live here again Tuesday for, I don't know, numerology or charms or cards or all of it. We'll see, right? And
Yes.
I'm going to do it while you're on lunch in case you want to pop in, because you might need to know some of your numerology, girl.
I know, right?
Yeah, but you are very much a warrior, a high priestess, and a prophet, and an emperor. All right, I love you.
Thank you, everyone. Nice meeting everybody.
Have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Thank you for being here. Much love. See you soon. Okay, almost done.